Yeah, you're fine as long as you're on either side of X stream. So right here is perfectly fine. Good. Good to see you. Yeah. How are you doing? Good. Good. Good to see you too. Yeah. Yeah. Please feel free. Do you and Alyssa's? Yeah. So you'll probably know. Do whatever. No. No. Please just do whatever you need to do. Yeah. Okay. For people to trickle in. Good afternoon, you all. My name is Kashika. I'm subbing for Anisha today. Before we begin our practice, as always, it's a you do you practice. So take what you like, leave what you don't. Any modifications, rest, hydrate, spectate, anything you need to be as comfortable as you can be. Okay, with that being said, let's start in a comfortable seat, however that might look. You might be seated with your legs crossed, you might be seated on a folded blanket, maybe any other prop like a block, just so that your hips are elevated in line with your knees, are slightly higher to give your back little length. But once you find your comfortable seat, however that might look, gently allow your eyes to soften, maybe softly open or softly closed. You might have your hands rested anywhere on your lap, maybe on your knees, with your palms facing up or down, whatever feels most grounding to you in this moment. And as you make little adjustments, maybe to your seat, to your clothes or hair, slowly begin to find your center. And with your eyes softly closed or softly open, can you begin to tune inward to listen for the sounds of your breath without changing or modifying or manipulating your breath? Just simply observe the natural rhythm of your breath. It flows in and through you. As you exhale, notice the breath go down from your nose into your belly and up into your heart as it fills you up. And as you exhale, feel the breath go down into the earth and up and out through every fiber of your being. A few rounds of breath just like this on your own. And while you're breathing here, maybe you let your jaw soften, your shoulders soften. If they're shrugging towards your ears, let them be soft. Let your brows, the space between your brows, to soften. With every inhale, really fill your belly, fill your lungs. And with every exhale, let that breath go. This practice of yoga is first and foremost an offering to your breath, and breath is always in the present moment. So if your mind wanders, can you gently, softly, and very politely bring it back to your breath? And before we begin our time here today with each other, 3 rounds of that same breath. Your hands might rest exactly where they are. You might then bring more to center, maybe in front of your heart, with your palms pressed each other at heart center, in this simple, sincere gesture of self-reverence. But once, take a big breath in and a long breath out. Twice more just like this on your own. of your third breath, just pause for a moment and notice any difference in your breath when you truly actively listen for it. And as you support of the ground of your props beneath you, here and now, and keeping this attention of breath within and the ground beneath you as best as you can, gently begin to blink open your eyes, release your hands, and to begin our together, we'll meet in a tabletop position. So take as much time and as many breaths as you need to find your way into your tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Really spread your fingers nice and wide. Your index finger or even thumb facing. Your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. Take up more space. Take here a neutral spine, a breath in and out through nose or mouth. On your next inhale, begin to drop your belly, lift your heart, lift your gaze. And as you exhale, press into your hands to round your back, chin tucked in towards belly for cat. Good. Take 4 to 5 rounds of cat and cow, arching and rounding through your back, moving with your breath. Good. Maybe you soften your gaze or even close your eyes and check to see if your body is needing any organic movements. Maybe making circles with your hips in one or the other direction. Maybe you rock forward and back. Maybe you stretch one hip away from shoulder. But wherever you are, let it be an offering to your breath. A breath in through your nose and out through nose or mouth. Good. And after a few rounds of moving through cat and cow, gently begin to find your stillness, your tabletop position. And on your next breath, for an early calf stretch, reach your right leg long behind you with your toes tucked. As you reach your right heel down towards the sticky mat, think crown of your head and chest forward to find length through your spine. You might stay here, maybe you rock back and forth on the ball of that right foot. If you're rocking back and forth, maybe you link that movement with your breath. As you inhale, you rock forward, and as you exhale, the heel reaches down towards the sticky mat. Notice any sensation in the back of your leg, in your calf muscles, in your hamstrings, maybe in your right ankle. But take a breath here, a breath in, down and wide. A long breath up and out. On your next breath, when you're ready, bring your right knee back through center and we'll switch sides. Left leg long behind you with your toes tucked. As you reach your left heel down towards the ground, think crown of your head and chest forward. You might stay here, maybe you liked, if on the first side you rock forward and back. The ball of that left foot, know that two sides can be different. So really listen to your body. But wherever you are, spread your fingers nice and wide, finger or even thumb facing forward. Good. On your next breath, when you're ready, begin to bring your left knee back through center. Now take your hands around 2 to 3 handprints forward of your shoulders as wide as your mat. Take up space. On an inhale, shrug your shoulders towards your ears, armpits away from the ground. And as you exhale, shift your hips over your knees as your chest, your head gets heavy towards the ground for puppy pose. Good. Your head might rest high up onto a block or blanket, maybe it rests on your sticky mat, but wherever you are, a breath in and a long breath out. Good. On your next breath, when you're ready, press into your hands to peel yourself away from the ground. Bring your hands around one handprint towards you. Tuck all 10 toes under, knees slightly back behind your hips. Now as you press into your hands and toes, lift your hips up and back to find your downward facing dog. In this down dog, maybe you pedal your heels from side to side. Maybe you sway your hips from side to side. Maybe you bend one knee, straighten the other heel. But take a breath here, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Good. On your next breath, begin to lift your heels, bend your knees forward and 1 foot at a time. Walk towards the front of your mat to find your forward fold as you bow in towards yourself. You might have your blocks underneath your hands to bring the floor up higher to meet you, or you might bend your knees a lot for your hands to touch something solid. But take a full breath in. And as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Open and close your jaw. You might sway your head from side to side. You might grab opposite elbows. Good. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Good. On your next breath, bring your hands to your hips. Take a full breath in to come all the way up. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Reach up, stretch up. And as you exhale, release your hands to the side. Good. Now with your feet around hip distance apart, all 10 toes pointing forward. On your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, begin to hinge from your hips. Find your forward fold, bowing in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up. And as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Make a fist with both your hands and place it in between your feet to measure the distance to around 2 fist distance apart. This is usually hips distance apart. On your next inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, once again, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Now with your hands, frame your feet. Take your feet back to find your plank, the top of your push-up. Your knees lifted. They might be bent onto your mat, your choice. Shoulders are stacked over your wrist. Now can you hug your legs from side to side like they could become one pillar and press into your hands to push from you. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down onto the ground. Untuck your toes, hands in line with your chest as wide as your mat. On an inhale, lift your head, your heart up for cobra or baby cobra. Shrug your shoulder. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. We'll do that once again. With your next inhale, lift your head, your chest up for cobra. Shrug your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Curl all 10 toes under. Press yourself up through table or plank. And back to downward. Good. For 2 to 3 steady breaths here. A breath in. And a long breath out. Another breath in, down and wide. And let that breath go. On your next breath, once again begin to lift your heels, bend your knees and walk towards the front of your mat to forward fold as you bow in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Bring your hands to your hips, take a full breath in, stand through your legs, reach your arms. And as you exhale, release your hands to the side. Good. We'll do that once again, a round of Surya Namaskar 8, this time with your breath, not my voice. Feet around hip distance apart. On an inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, begin to hinge from your hips, find your forward fold. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up. And as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Frame your feet to plank, the top of your push-up, knees lifted or bent. Here, press your hands into the ground, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down onto the ground. Hands in line with your chest. On an inhale, lift your head, your heart up for cobra or baby cobra. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, lower all the way down. Curl all 10 toes under, press yourself up through table or plank, and back to down to the sky. Good. In and a long breath out. Good. On your next breath, once again, Begin to lift your heels, bend your knees, peek forward, and walk, jump or hop towards the front of your mat to find your forward fold, bowing in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a full breath in, come all the way up, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, release your hands to the side. Good. Now grab a block and place it in between your thighs, somewhere in the middle of your thigh, up in the groin, not down towards your knees, but somewhere in the middle. A tiny bend in your knees if they get locked. Now can you give your block a squeeze from side to side like you're trying to hug the block, and as you do that, trying to push the block back behind you using your inner thighs. When you do that, you might feel that your tush is sticking out. Now can you guide the bony parts of your hips down towards your heel. Think ribs back, shoulders up and back. Teeny tiny bend in your knees if they get locked. Now keeping this, reach both your arms up towards the ceiling. Right hand grabs the left wrist. On an inhale, reach out through the left fingertips, and as you exhale, tip up and over to your right side. Good. Think left shoulder slightly back so that it is in line with the bottom shoulder. Press your head back, ears in line with bicep. Take a big breath in and let that breath go. On your next breath, come back through center, take a breath, we'll switch sides. Left hand grabbing the right wrist. On an inhale, reach out through the right fingertips, and as you exhale, tip up and over to your left side. Once again, tack your upper shoulder slightly back so that it is in line with the bottom shoulder. And now press your head back, ears back, take a breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, come back through center, reach up, stretch up, and as you exhale, release your hands. Good. Ditch the block off to the side, but keeping the memory of the block with your feet around hip distance apart, hands on top of your thighs. Bend your knees, sit your hips back to find your chair pose, Utkatasana. Good. Press your hands into your thighs to lift your chest away from the ground, ribs back towards the spine, hands might stay apart. If you want to play with more heat, arms reach. A big breath in and down. Maybe the hips get heavier towards the ground. Good. On your next breath, come all the way up, reach up, stretch up, and to hinge from your hips, forward fold, bowing in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Now with your right foot forward, step your left foot back, catch your lunge, come up high onto your fingertips or blocks on either side of that right foot. Good. Take a breath here, a big breath in, and a long breath out. Good. On your next breath, leaning into your left hand, reach your right fingertips towards the front of the room. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, twist that arm up and back and bring it forward like you're making a circle. We'll do that twice more with your breath. A breath in and a long breath out. Last round with your breath, not my voice. Good. And after the third round, bring your right hand back onto your block, a tiny bend in the back knee, and bring the back foot forward to meet the front foot to find your forward fold, bowing in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Once again, bring your hands to your hips, take a full breath in, stand through your legs, reach your arms towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, release your hands to the side. Good. Chair pose round 2. Feet around hip distance apart, hands on top of your thighs, bend your knees, sit your hips back. Press your hands into your thighs, lift your chest away from the ground, back. Hands might stay here in front of arms, reach up. But you are a big in, and as you exhale, hips get heavier towards the gravity. Good. On your next breath, come stretch up, and as you exhale, begin to find your forward fold, bowing in towards yourself. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Now with your left foot forward, step your right foot back, catch your lunge. Come up high onto your blocks or fingertips on either side of that left foot. Take a breath here, a breath in and a long breath out. Lean into your right hand, reach your left fingertips towards the front of the room. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, twist up and back. Bring your hand forward like you're making a circle. Twice more with your breath. A big breath in and a long breath out. Last round with your breath, not my voice. Good. And after the third round, bring your left hand back onto your block. Ditch the block in front of your mat. Frame that front, your lunge, and downward facing dog, hips to the sky. 2 to 3 steady breaths here. You might take those breaths in child's or puppy pose, wherever you want to be. Good. Offering it to your breath. Good. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, float your right leg up and back. Sometimes my left shoulder wants to dip towards the ground. Can you press more into your left hand to bring the shoulders in line with each other? Take a big breath in. The left heel gets good. On knee back through center, stretch it up and step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back to the ground and begin to walk your hand legged forward. Come up high onto your fingertips. So take your blocks along with you to bring the floor up higher to me. Take a big breath in and exhale. Let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Open and close. Breath. Maybe left fingertips on your mat, maybe left hand onto a block. Place your right palm on your low back. Shrug your right shoulder up and back. Take a big breath in, lift halfway up. And as you exhale, twist from your belly towards the right side. Now the right palm serves as an anchor. Sometimes the hips want to sway with you. Can you lean more into your left foot so that your hips are squared? Good. Your hand might stay. It might reach up towards the ceiling, wherever you are. A breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, bring your right hand back onto your block or floor and take a sides, a breath in. Head get heavy towards the gravity. Side. And we'll do the other side, leaning hand, left palm on back, shrug your left back, lift halfway up, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, twist from your belly towards the left. Once again, lean more into your right. Left hand might stay exactly where it is. Maybe arm up towards the ceiling, wherever in and a long. Begin to lunge and take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your downward facing dog, on an inhale, through your plank, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down onto the ground. Your next inhale lifts your head, your heart up for cobra or baby cobra. Shrug your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, lower all the way down, curl all 10 toes under, press yourself up through table or plank. Downward facing dog, hips to the sky. 2 to 3 breaths here in this down dog before we do the other side. Good. As you inhale, press your hands into the floor to push the floor away from you, and as you exhale, lift your hips a centimeter higher towards the side. On your next breath, when you're ready, float your left leg up and back. Bend your left knee, open the side. Now this time, press your right hand to bring the shoulders in line with each other. Take in through your nose. And as you exhale, maybe the right heel gets heavier towards the ground. Take a breath, one breath in and a long breath. On your next breath, bring the knee back through center, stretch it up once again. And as you exhale, step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back foot down onto the mat. Find your wide-legged forward fold, bowing into. Might have your blocks underneath your once again to bring, but take a full. And I'll bring one over to you. Or you can also Now for a shoulder stretch, grab your strap around hip distance apart, or maybe interlace your fingers behind you. Put a tiny bend in your elbow, a tiny bend, get locked. Take a big breath in, shrug your shoulders up and back, and as you exhale, tuck the strap apart to bring the shoulder blades together. Your hands might lift away from your low back up towards the ceiling or up towards your head. But wherever you are, a big breath in, hug your legs towards each other, and as you exhale, tuck the strap apart to bring the shoulder blades together. Good. On your next breath, ditch the strap with care off to the side. Begin to pivot your front foot and front knee towards the front of your mat. Catch your lunge and take it back to downward, hips to the sky. From your downward, on an inhale, come forward through your plank. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down onto the ground. Good. Make a pillow with your hands to rest on your forehead or your cheek. And take a breath here. Good. A big breath in. And a long breath. Good. Maybe you soften your gaze or even close. Just listen for the sounds of your breath. Observe the rhythm of your breath. Is there any difference in your breath from the beginning of the class to now? Good. And when you're ready, on your next breath, hands in line with your chest, curl all 10 toes under, press yourself up through table or plank, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your downward facing dog, when you're ready, float your right leg up and back and step it through or around to catch your lunge. Bring your hands to your hips, and when you feel steady, lift your torso all the way up. Good. Hands might stay on your hips, might reach your arms up towards the ceiling. You might walk that right foot as much to the right to help with the balance, but lift through your left heel, reach out through your fingertips, take a big breath in, and keeping that as you exhale, bend into the front thigh. Think ribs back towards the spine. Good. Now on your next breath, bend your left elbow, pat yourself in between your shoulder blades, and with your right fingertips, grab your left elbow. Think elbow up towards the ceiling, press your head back, ribs back. Take a breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, unwind your hands, bring your hands to your hips, a tiny bend in the knee, and with all the hops you need, spring the back foot forward to scoop the knee in towards your chest. Root down through the standing foot to reach out through the crown of your head. And left foot onto the ground, shake it off. Good. Now with your feet around hip distance apart, hands to hips for a moment, bend your knees, sit your hips back like you're sitting in chair pose. Now lift your right heel, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh for standing figure 4. Flex through your right foot to stabilize the knee and ankle. Your hands might stay onto your hips. in front of your heart. If you're feeling more spicy, maybe arms reach up. Wherever you are, a breath in. And as you exhale, maybe the hips get heavier, chest away from the ground. Good. On your next breath, come all the way up. Bring the right knee in towards your chest. Take a breath here, a breath in. And a long breath out. On your next breath, left hand to left hip. Reach your right heel towards your right tush. Now with your right hand, grab your right foot, maybe the seams of your pant for a standing thigh stretch. Tiny bend in the standing knee to help with the balance. Shrug your right shoulder up and back. Push your foot into your hand and hand back into your foot. Take a breath here and slowly release your foot, release your hands and shake it off. Good. With your feet around hip distance apart, all 10 toes pointing forward. On an inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, begin to hinge from your hips, find your forward fold. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up. And as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Plant your hands to frame your feet. Take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Take a breath here, in. Maybe you open your mouth, that breath out. On your neck, when you're ready, float your left leg up and back and step it around to catch your lunge. Bring your hands to your hips, and when you feel steady, lift your torso all the way up. Good. Hands to hips, hands might reach up towards the ceiling. You might walk that left foot as much to the left as you need to help with the balance, but reach out through your right heel, through the fingertips. Take a big breath in, and keeping that, as you exhale, bend into the front thigh. Good. Think ribs back towards the spine. Now on this side, right elbow, pat yourself in between your shoulders, and with your left, grab your right elbow, press. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, unwind your hands. Hands might stay lifted, hands might come to your hips, but a tiny bend in the knee, and spring the back foot off. With all the hops you need, scoop the knee in towards your chest. Take a breath here, root down through your left foot, reach out through the crown of your head, and slowly lower the right foot down onto the ground. Shake it off. On to the next side, standing figure 4. Feet in line with your hip distance apart, bend your knees, sit your hips back. Lean into your right foot this time, lift your left heel, cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh for standing figure 4. Think chest away from the ground. Hands might stay here in front of heart, maybe arms reach up, but take a big breath in and down. And as you exhale, maybe the hips get heavier towards the gravity. Good. On your next breath, come all the way up. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Now, right hand might stays to the hip. Begin to bring your left heel towards your left tush. Take your left hand around and back to hold for that left foot or maybe the seams of your pants. A tiny bend in the standing knee. Shrug your left shoulder up and back. Push your foot into your hand and hand back into your foot. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, with care, release the hold of your foot, release your hands and shake it off. Good. With your feet around hip distance apart, all 10 toes pointing forward. On an inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, begin to hinge from your hips, find your forward fold. Your next inhale lifts you halfway up, and as you exhale, let your head get heavy towards the gravity. Bring your hands to frame your feet. Take it back to downward facing dog, hips to. And now from your down dog, everyone bend your mat, big toes together, and let your hips rest on your heels to find your child's pose. Good. Take a breath here. Good. Maybe you soften your gaze or even close your eyes. And when you're ready, gently begin to peel yourself away from the ground. Find your seat, take a breath, maybe sip on water or anything else you need. The temperature feels fine. Do you need fans? No? All good? Okay. So when you're ready, sip on water, breath. Let's meet in a tabletop position. You might have a blanket underneath your knees to give your knees a little extra padding. From your tabletop, have your hands slightly forward. Fingers nice and wide. Press your fingertips, the knuckle pads into the ground to release any pressure from your wrist. Now reach your right leg long behind you with your toes tucked. Begin to lift that right leg off of the ground in line with your right hip. Flex through your right foot like you're trying to make a footprint. You might stay here. You might begin to lift your left arm off of the ground in line with your shoulder. Take a breath here, a big breath in and a long breath out. Hug your right leg towards the midline, towards the center. On your next breath, begin to lower your hand, your knee back onto the ground. Take a breath here before we switch sides. Maybe you take a round or two of cat and cow. Maybe you make few circles with your hips in one or the other direction. Good. And when you're ready, no rush, we'll do the other side. Reach your left leg long behind you with your toes tucked. Begin to lift your left leg off of the ground in line with your left hip. Flex through your left foot. Hug the leg towards the midline. Stay here, completely optional to lift your left off. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, lower your right hand, your left knee back onto the ground. Take a breath. And on your next breath, we'll meet in a facing dog, hips to the you need to find your way into your tabletop downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, float your right leg up and back and or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back foot down onto the ground and on an inhale, sweep your arms up to a T to find Siddhasana 2. Good. Check to see that the front knee and toe are pointing forward. Sometimes the front knee wants to knock in. Can you press the right heel towards the midline to guide the right knee open over second or third toes? Shrug your shoulders up and back. Take a big breath. Exhale. Maybe you descend into the front thigh. Good. On your next breath, bend your right elbow. Place it on your right thigh, left hand to your hip for a moment. Shrug your left shoulder up and back, right shoulder up and back, and now begin to lift your arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe you point your fingertips towards the front of the room. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Good. On your next breath, bring your left hand to your hip and now begin to lift your torso all the way up for a moment. A tiny bend in the front knee. Have your strap in front, have a block in front of you. Now begin to walk your back foot towards the front foot, heel to that back foot forward. Lean into your front foot, front leg, reach for that block, place it off in front of your right foot and off to the right side. As you lean more into your front foot, front hand, your back leg might feel lighter to lift it off of the ground for half moon pose. Good. A tiny bend in the standing knee. Shrug your left shoulder up and back. You might stay here. You might lift your left arm off of the ground up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, with care, bring your left hand to your hip and tap your left foot to the ground. Frame that front foot, catch your lunge and take it back. Sky. Good. Take a breath here. Maybe you stay in down dog for 2 to 3 steady breaths. Maybe you flow through the linking vinyasa. Maybe you take those breaths close to the ground in child's or puppy pose. Good. No rush. Take your time. Down dog, float your left leg up and back and step it through or around to catch your up to a T to find to Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Check knee and toe are pointing forward. You might also walk your back foot slightly back to find length in your stance. And now can you push your left heel towards the midline so that your left knee is open towards your second or third toes. Shrug your shoulders up and back. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, descend into the front. Good. On your next breath, bend your left elbow. Right hand to hip for a moment. Shrug your up and back, left shoulder up and back, and then begin to lift your arm. Healing, or maybe sweep it towards the front of the room for this side angle. Good. Take a breath here, a in, and a long breath out. Good. Find your warrior. Right hand to your right hip. And now begin to heel toe that back foot forward. With your left hand, reach for the block. Place it far forward of your left foot, off to the left foot, left hand. Through your right. Bring. When you peek down, you can see your toes. Stay here or reach your right arm up to a big a tiny dog, hips to the. Stay here for 2 to 3 steady breaths. Maybe you take those breaths in child's pose. Maybe flow through linking vinyasa. Good. Offering it to your breath. Good. From your downward facing dog, begin to lower your knee to your sticky mat and find your seat. Bring your knees and your legs in front of you. Good. With your hands behind your hips, feet as wide as your mat, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, shift your knees towards your right. On an inhale, bring your knees back through center. And as you exhale, shift them towards the left side. With your knees falling from, moving with your breath. Good. Doing the windshield wiper from side to side a few times. Bring your knees back through center. Walk your feet around hip distance apart. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Lean slightly back. Shrug your shoulders up and back. Lift the ground. And for 3 breaths, either you play with lifting one leg at a time. Maybe you lift both your feet off of the ground at the same time, flexing through your foot. If you want a bit of a more heat and challenge, maybe arms off of the ground. Good. Take a big breath in and a long breath. One more breath in. Breath out. Good. On your next breath, come back behind your hips, feet as wide as your mat. Good. Again, boat pose Navasana. Wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do for 3. To bring your feet back through center, round hip distance apart. Hands behind your thighs, lean slightly back, shrug your shoulders up and back, think ribs back towards the spine. Lift your toes for 3. Either you play, maybe you have both your feet off of the ground, hands off of your legs, a big breath and a long breath out. So good. One more breath in, off. Good. Feet as wide as your mat. Few rounds of windshield. Good. The next time your knees fall off, let them stay there for a breath. Have your right fingertips turned towards the back of the room. Now lean into your right hip and take your left hand around and back. Take a breath here. Long breath out. On your left, behind your left hip, bring your knees back through center. Your knees fall off to the other side. Left fingertips towards the back of the room. Lean into your hand and hip. Take your right hand around and back for the twist on this side. Good. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next, back through center. Bring your knees back through center and just take a little turn around to find your way onto your back with your head up towards me, feet to the back of the room. Done with all the down dogs and all the balancing poses. Good. Once you find your way onto your back, 2 rounds of bridge pose. For the first one, let's use a block. So grab your block and place it in between your thighs. Beginning. Good. With your feet around hip distance apart, begin to bring your heels towards your hips and now bend your elbows, palms facing each other, fingertips facing the ceiling. Wiggle your shoulder blades together to bring the shoulder blades upper back. Good. Now press into your feet, press into your elbows to lift your hips off of the ground. Good. You have the block to squeeze in so that your legs do not splay out. Take a breath here, press down and forward through your feet. Wiggle your shoulder blades together to lift the chest away from the ground and press the center of your head back into the ground to lift the chin away from your neck. One more breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, slowly begin to lower your hips down onto your sticky mat. Touch the block off to the side. Walk your feet to come as wide as your mat and let your knees knock into each other. Let your hands rest anywhere they fall, maybe alongside of you, out to a T or cactus, maybe on your body. Take a breath here. Good. We'll do one more round of bridge pose. If you like the block, feel free to place it in between your thighs. If you did not, that's okay too. Just keep the memory of the block from round 1 so that you have something to squeeze into. With your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Bend your elbows, palms facing each other, fingertips facing the ceiling like robot arms. Now press down and forward through your feet. Wiggle your shoulder blades together and begin to lift your hips off of the ground. Good. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Another breath in. Let that breath go. On your next breath, slowly begin to lower your hips down onto the ground. Let the block go from in between your thighs if it's there. Walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. Your arms might be out to a T or cactus. Take up space and take a big breath in and a long breath out. Breath in, and as you put your knees towards your right side. On an inhale, bring your knees back through center, and as you exhale, shift your knees towards your left side. Good. Take a few rounds of windshield wiper with your knees falling from side to side, moving with your breath. Linking breath with movement. Good. The next time your knees towards the right side, just let them stay there for a breath. If you like me, you might place that right ankle on top of your left thigh for an added stretch. But Take a breath here, a breath in, long breath out. On your next breath, of your thigh, let it go and let your knees fall off towards the left side this time. Once again, you might place that left ankle on top of your right thigh and take a breath here, a breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, begin to lower the left foot back onto the ground. If it is there on top of your thigh, bring your knees. Now with your feet around hip distance apart, lift your right knee towards you and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh for this version of figure 4. Now with your right hand, press into your right thigh of you. Stay here. You might begin to lift your foot on left knee in towards your chest. Here or interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and take a breath here, flexing through that right, the left foot as well. A big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, begin to lower your onto the ground. Unwind your legs and we'll switch sides. Lift your left foot, right thigh. With your left hand, press the thigh away from you. Flex through that left foot. Good. Stay here or begin to lift your right heel towards you. Interlace your fingers. Flex through both your feet if they are lifted. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath, gently begin to lower your right foot back onto the ground. Unwind your legs. Extend your legs out long, arms up overhead. Take a big breath in. Exhale, begin to bend your knees. Give yourself a big hug. Knees hugged in chest. Take a breath here. You might rock from side to side, giving your low back some massage. Good. And with just the right knee hugged in towards yourself, extend your left leg long onto your sticky mat. Hold your right outer knee with your left hand and spill the knee over towards your left side for a supine twist. Go as far as both your shoulders stay heavy on the ground. You might have a block or a couple of blocks placed under that right knee, foot or shin, extra added support. But take a breath. Let your head be heavy, shoulders, the back, part of your back touching the ground. And on your next breath, gently begin to bring your knee back through center. Give your left knee a hug in towards yourself, right leg extended long onto your mat. Hold your left outer knee with your right hand and spill the knee over towards your right side for a twist on this side. Once again, blocks, many blocks underneath that knee, foot or shin. But guide both your shoulders down towards the sticky mat. Take a breath here. Next breath, bring your left knee back through center. Give both hug in towards yourself, your belly, your chest. And to bring your feet once again back onto your sticky mat. Soles of your feet touch each other and let both your knees towards either side like you're opening a book. But you might have knees, your thighs to give to bring one hand to heart. And take a breath here. As you inhale, notice the chest expands, and as you exhale, belly and the chest soften. Take a few rounds of breath just like this on your own, noticing the softening and the expansioning of your belly. And after a few rounds of breath here, begin to bring your knees back through center. Once again, give both your knees a hug in towards yourself, towards your belly or chest. Stay here for a breath or two. Happy baby or anything else you need before we make our way towards Shavasana. Of rest, however that might look. Back with your legs extended long, arms off to the side. You might lie onto your head if that what allows you to unwind or rest. You might have any props underneath your knees to give your low back extra space. For a moment to find your position of rest. Maybe you let your hair down, your glasses off to the but once you're there, take a big breath in through your nose and open your mouth to sigh that breath out. Allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm as it flows in and through you. Let your front body soften into the let your back body into the ground and let your whole body rest, feeling heavy and supported by the ground beneath you. The heavier your body becomes, the more lighter, the more spacious you might just begin to feel. Know that change or adjust your position at any time during Shavasana to be even 1% more comfortable. This is your time to rest, to simply be, to honor yourself, to honor your body for all that it does for you. And know that I'm here and I will call you back next time. And when you're ready, begin to deepen your breath, taking a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Begin to make any gentle movements that feel sweet to you. Maybe you wiggle your fingers or your toes. You might roll your wrist or your ankle. You might tip your head from side to side, lying heavy against the earth. And if you put in your body, maybe you reach your legs out long, arms up overhead. Take a big breath in And as you exhale, begin to bend your knees. Give yourself a big, big hug. Knees hugged in towards your belly, towards your chest. Once again, you might rock from side to side, front to back, giving your low back some extra massage. And when you're ready, with your feet flat on the ground, one arms up overhead, begin to roll over to your face to coil in towards yourself. And with the arm that's draped over you, press to push yourself all the way up to a top, however that might look. Sit with your legs crossed, maybe you're seated on your knees. But gently allow your eyes maybe softly open or softly closed. Hands might rest anywhere they fall. But whenever you're ready, take a big breath in nose and let that breath the practice center anywhere that feels like center for you on your body, maybe in front of your heart, just like we did it in the beginning. Palms pressed against each other at heart center. Whenever you're ready, in, down, back and wide, let it fill you. And as you exhale, let that breath in and out. You might bow your head towards your hands or legs up towards your head in this simple, sincere gesture of reverence, of bowing towards yourself, towards your true teacher resides, heart of everyone who practiced right alongside of you. And with all my heart, I sincerely bow to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here this afternoon. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, week. Drink lots of water, keep yourself hydrated, and I will see you next time. And Anisha will be here next Monday. Thank you. Yeah. Wrapping things up, there are a few announcements. This Friday, November 7th. Oops, that's gone. Sorry. There's another workshop. Give me a moment. There's a teacher who's coming for a Kula flow with Alexander order. The teacher's name is Nikki. She'll be here on November 14th and 15th, Friday and Saturday. It's divided in 3 parts. There's a workshop, so feel free to look over that on the website. Adriana is going to do release yoga, which I am planning to do. This time is 2 slots. There's one, it's on the Monday. It's 5:30 and 7. It's yeah, and I think that's about it. Thank you. Thank you.